The next mini project that I worked on was a little script that organized all my images. There were a few different criteria I had for this. The first one was I wanted to organize them by the date that they were taken. So they would be organized by first the year, and then within the year folders, there would also be a month folder, and I'll show that in just a bit. I also wanted to make sure that I removed any duplicate images because they're just wasting space. I think the best way to showcase how this script works is just to go ahead and give you an example. So on my desktop, I have this folder called Showcase, and I have a bunch of different images in here and even one video. And I can go ahead and click on my script, which is right here. It opens up this dialog box, and then immediately I have to go ahead and select the folder that I want to organize. In this case, it will be the Showcase folder on my desktop. I select that folder. And now notice what it does once I click start. So I'll go ahead and click start. It shows a bunch of logs here, and it goes ahead and organizes all the images into their corresponding year folder. And then within each year, it also is putting the images into their month folder, like as you can see here. Then what I've also done is it removes the duplicate pictures and moves into this duplicate folder. So you can see that there's this image is a duplicate, and we can go ahead and make sure because it renames all the folders or like images too. So you can see that it renames it by year and month. So we know that this should be in the 2029. And there you go. You can see that that was a duplicate image. The dialog box also shows some interesting things. So it shows you when what images were organized. It shows you if they were untouched, so it didn't change the location or organize those pictures because they're already in a good state. And it also shows you how many duplicates were found. So if we go ahead and remove these duplicate, and then if I were to run this again, so let me just go ahead and close this and open this up again. I'll also go ahead and it creates this database file, which I'll explain in just a bit. So I can go ahead and delete that. And let me just bring up this script again. So we can go to the desktop, click Showcase, and select this folder. And if I run this again, you'll notice that all of them are untouched. And this was a very important thing for me. I wanted to make sure that I could continuously keep running this script on the same folder. And I know it will be tedious to run it on all the files that are in the folder, but this way, if I change anything, even slightly, it will go ahead and fix everything. It will bring it back to its original state. So to give a better example of this, let's say I just go ahead into 2022. I move this picture outside into the Showcase. And then if I go back to Showcase here, and then let's just move another picture out too. So let me just go ahead and move like 4 of these out into the Showcase folder. So you can see that I've kind of tinkered with it a bit and moved things around. I can also move things around in other weird ways. I can just move this into the 2020 folder. But no matter what I do, when I run this again, it's going to go ahead and reorganize everything into the state that it was initially. So let me go ahead and delete this database that it temporarily creates. And then I can run the script. Give it a second. Go to the desktop. Click Showcase. Select this folder. And then I click Start. And there you go. Everything is back into its original state that it was in before. You can see that it touched, we probably moved around 6 images, so all of those 6 images are now organized. This is the script that I wrote. It's all written in Python, and I used, I think, pretty basic imports here. I didn't use anything crazy. I do want to declare that I am a new Python programmer. I'm not very experienced with it. To give a very brief overview of what the script does, it just goes through, it iterates through all the images twice. The first time it will create the image's hash and its destination. So it will already know the path of where exactly that image should go by the date that it was taken, which is actually something you can get from the image metadata. The second iteration is when it actually starts moving everything. And I took this 2-step approach because I wanted to do some computation, make sure there's no duplicates, and do all that stuff in the second phase. And how it does that duplication technique is I was talking about this hash that it stores for that specific image. And what a hash really is it's changing that image into a string or a group of characters. And it's much easier to compare two strings than it is to compare two really large images pixel by pixel. As you can imagine, like there are a lot of pixels in an image, but there's very few. It's very easy to just check like 256 even characters and compare them with each other. So the second iteration that it runs, it will just go ahead and we've already computed the destination. So we'll move it to the destination. But before it does that, it makes sure that the hash doesn't already exist in the database, because if it does, then it will not move the image to that location. It'll just move it to the duplicates folder. Hopefully that all makes sense. I know I rushed through that. Let me know if you want a more detailed video on how I implemented this.